G'day people, today I'm going to be making chocolate mousse. Chocolate mousse. Mousse. Not banana custard. So, a mousse is made from eggs. So I've got 4 large free-range eggs here. Step 1, separate the yolks and the whites. I'm going to put the whites in there, the yolks in here. Let's see if I stuff it up and get it around the wrong way. See, I already got it around the wrong. I'm hopeless. I already stuffed it up on the first egg. What? Come on, Mars. Lift your game, mate. Stupid. First egg, I got it wrong. So if I start on the white thing, I should be right, shouldn't I? Famous last words. Start with the white bowl and nothing can go wrong. That's the takeaway, the moral, the lesson for the day. When you're separating eggs, do it over the white bowl, not over the yolk bowl. And you'll be good as gold. There we go, good as gold. Get rid of them. It goes in the bin. Wash the hands. And commence beating. And you can beat those with a hand beater, which is a really good way to do it, but I'm going to use the balloon whisk today. Whisk away. Whisk away. Taking that white off. It's a bit slow to get going because the balloon whisk is only just touching into the white, so until it starts to froth them up, not much will happen. But once it starts to froth them, then it'll go quickly. Come on! Some things take a long time. Maybe I should have used the hand beater after all. I mean, it will go, it's just slow to get started. Come on. It'd be a lot faster if I had more eggs, because I've only got the 4 whites. It's slow. Now it's just starting to froth. If you have like 10, it'd be really quick. It's starting to froth now. Cool t-shirt, eh? Selling England by the pound. One of my top 5 favourite prog rock albums. Along with Close to the Edge. Probably Dark Side of the Moon, if you consider Dark Side of the Moon to be prog rock or not, depending who you are. Not sure who else I picked. Prog rock. Not really a fan of King Crimson. Definitely Yes. And then you got jazz rock fusion, you know, people like Return to Forever. They're very good. Weather Report, very good. But you know, jazz rock fusion, it's not really prog rock, is it? brickwork on his own. I mean, his journey to the centre of the earth is that Prog Rock. Probably, I suppose, maybe. Steely Dan, are they Prog Rock? What would you call Steely Dan? Jazz rock? Prog rock? I don't know. Steely Dan have got some great albums. Definitely getting there now. It's quite white now and it's starting to firm up. Needs to get a bit bigger, I think. I don't know. No, I don't think so. A bit more. I'll put some sugar in. I should definitely have used the hand mixer. Next time I'll remember. Disappointed. I wonder if the K-burger would have been better than the whisk. Maybe. Maybe not. Anyway, I've got a spoon. I'll need a spoon to spoon out the sugar into my measuring cup. So I want a quarter of a cup. Caster sugar. Yeah, there's a very heaped quarter of a spoon, a quarter of a cup. Sprinkle it over the top and beat it in. Let's have a look at that. I don't do a lot with meringue, you know. And I seem to remember it should probably be a bit firmer than that, but maybe it's okay. I think I'll just give it another 30 seconds or so, just to be on the safe side, maybe a minute. Maybe a minute. And I'll start with the choc. I suppose I could start with the choc right now. Oh, that's going to have to do. So I want about 180 grams Probably don't need 180, probably 170 would be enough. So I've got the Play-Doh, and I've got the Cadbury, and they're both 70% cocoa solids. They're both excellent, by the way, if you want to buy cooking chocolate. And I tried this stuff. I tried this stuff from Aldi, which is Dairy Fine Classic Dark. And honestly, not bad. Not bad. Whatever. Dairy Fine. It's not proper cooking chocolate because it is sweet. It's only 45%. It's only 45% cocoa mass, and it's obviously more than 50% sugar. Probably 50% sugar. So yes, it's sweet, but so it's not proper cooking chocolate. But it does have a really good strong chocolate flavour. So if you're looking for sweet dark chocolate, and maybe you don't want to pay the maximum price, not bad. It's not bad. It's better. It's definitely better than their 90%. Their 90% supposedly cooking chocolate, which was garbage, tasted like rejects from off the factory floor. They're 90%. But that 45%, which is for eating rather than cooking, good strong chocolate flavour, nice warm chocolate flavour. And of course here we've got the Cadbury and the Play-Doh, and they're great. They're really chocolatey, which is what you want. So next job is to melt the chocolate, and the way to do that is in a microwave. Now use a big basin. You want to use a big basin for this because all of the mousse is going to end up in this basin. So I'm just going to microwave it for a minute and see what happens. Give it a minute. I'll give it a stir, and we'll see how we go. Done with the scales, put the scales away. Sticky. Alright. Simple recipe really. Nothing particularly difficult in it. Just make sure you do everything properly, and you're right. So 1 minute, it's not enough. 2 minutes, we'll give it another minute. And while it's doing that, I'll get my phone. So the great trick here is, all you're going to do is make a mix of chocolate, melted chocolate, cream, egg yolks. Just going to mix it all up and combine it with and fold it through the egg white. That's all it is, right? It's simple. The only thing that can really go wrong is if you let the chocolate get too cold. If it gets too cold, it'll start to solidify into chunks, you know, and that's not what you want. You want it to be totally mixed, totally smoothly mixed with the egg white. That's what you want. So just basically make sure it stays warm. And the way to do that is microwave. Like in the past, you use a bain-marie, but who can be bothered? You don't need to. You don't need a bain-marie when you've got the microwave. Microwaves are fantastic for chocolate. They just simplify the whole process, because as soon as you need to warm it up, you just press the warm button. So here we can see that the chocolate is just, it's partly melted, hasn't fully, not everything's melted. Not everything's melted. So I'm just going to stir it around until all the chunks are melted. And then I'll put it back in the microwave to get it a bit hotter again. Like I say, you don't want it too cold. Too cold, it's no good, won't mix. But yeah, this is great, just sit there and mix. Lovely, lovely. It's fun. Fun cooking with chocolate, I highly recommend it. If you haven't done it, do it. Melt some chocolate. Have a go, mate. Melt some chocolate. Easy, just put it in the microwave. So this was 170 grams of cooking chocolate. They used to say 70% cocoa, with a little bit of 45%, just to make up the numbers a little bit. Oh yeah, we're starting to smooth out now. Easy. And when you see it like this, you think, oh, nothing can go wrong, but it can. If you get it too cold, it will solidify. So, it's all good. That's what we want. Now I'll give it one more minute. One more minute to make sure it stays hot. One more minute. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to warm up the cream. So I want 1/4 cup of cream. I'm using a really heavy cream here. I mean, ideally you want pure cream, right? I don't know that this is pure cream. So they put a whole lot of gelatine in it or something? What do they do? Minimum 35% milk fat. That doesn't sound like pure cream. Ingredients: cream, vegetable gums. So yeah, probably quite a bit of gelatine. You used to be able to buy pure cream, which would just be cream, nothing else. You don't seem to be able to, I couldn't find it in Woolworths. I don't know whether they don't sell it. Maybe they don't sell it anymore, or maybe it's just hiding somewhere where it's hard to find. Right, let's pull that out. Right, that's nice and warm. Nice and warm. Now I'm just going to warm up the cream. Give it 20 seconds to warm it up. Like I say, you don't want to shock the chocolate. You don't want the chocolate to suddenly get cold and start solidifying. You ruin the whole thing. So keep your chocolate hot. I mean, not really hot. You don't want to ruin the chocolate by getting it too hot. But you know, 60 degrees or something is probably good. Okay. Right, so I've heated up the cream. Maybe too much. No, probably not. I should have put it in a bigger container. I thought, why dirty another container when I can just use the measuring cup? Well, we can see why I shouldn't have, because it's dribbled over the edge a bit. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And you combine the cream with the choc, which makes a ganache. For all of you who don't know, that's how you make a ganache, cream and chocolate. And the secret to doing it is make sure they're warm, but they've got to be 60 degrees. If they're both warm, you're right. And then once the cream's gone in, you're probably pretty right at that point. I might just heat up the yolks a little bit. I'll give them, I don't know, 10 or 20 seconds. We'll give them 10 or 20 seconds and then nothing can go wrong, can it? Famous last words. Oh. Alright, just a drop of, a few drops of vanilla essence. I mean, it's optional, we don't really need the vanilla essence, but I don't know. Chocolate and vanilla essence, they always seem to go together. And put in these eggs. Don't really need the whisk, I don't think. Don't think we need it. I just assumed I would need it, but don't actually need it. Alright, let's have a look. See that lovely glossy, chocolatey character to it? Glossy chocolate. Now we just fold in put in the whites. Whoa, there's the whites. And just fold them in using a spatula. So I'm using Fred the spatula, but you could use Marguerite if you want. Or maybe Herman the spatula. Agamemnon the spatula. So you've got to get right to the bottom where the chocolate is. Bring it up through the egg. Bring it up through the egg white. And after a little while, you'll start to see that this white mixture will turn brown as the chocolate gets into it. Do it gently. We don't want to knock all the air out of the egg white. Bit by bit, it'll start to happen. It won't happen instantly, but it gradually becomes more and more chocolatey. You start to hit veins, rich veins of the dark stuff. Right down to the bottom. This is where it's critical that you kept your chocolate hot. otherwise it won't mix. Just keep at it until it goes a nice dark brown, or as brown as it's going to get. Just keeps getting darker and darker brown as the chocolate gets more and more incorporated. Darker and darker brown. It's unreal, you know, the first bunch of times that you get the spatula underneath it, doesn't look like it's going to get brown at all, but it does. And it keeps getting darker up to a point. Now, this recipe uses a lot of chocolate. Like a lot more than you'll get in most restaurants. Unless you go to an expensive restaurant where they give you a lot of chocolate, but the cheaper restaurants where you get chocolate mousse, pubs or pizza shops or whatever, they don't throw a lot of chocolate in because it's too expensive, so they're not as good. I mean, look how dark that's getting now. Wow. It's really starting to get dark. And the whites are acquiring a certain viscosity to them that they didn't have originally. When I first put the whites in here, that now the whites and the chocolate is all sticking together. It almost starts coming away from the sides. It's quite interesting. Comes away from the sides. So when you don't see any more change to the colour, when you don't see any more dark streaks, like you will get dark streaks as you access the unmixed chocolate, or only a little bit mixed chocolate, you get these dark streaks. But after a while, when you don't get the dark streaks anymore, you're probably there, it's probably fully mixed. And once it's fully mixed, you're done. And we don't want to knock all the air out of it. So I think that's done. Let's have a look. I completely stuffed that up. Thanks, Motorola. There's no dark streaks. And look how chocolatey that is. Look how dark the mousse is, how brown. That's a lovely mid brown there. Right. Get yourself an array of dessert glasses and pour a good healthy swag of mousse into each one. Here you go. Like that. Like that. Okay, so the damn camera cut out again, as it always bloody does. So over it. So I don't know where it cut out. I don't know what we've missed out on. But here we are. We've got 4 dessert glasses containing mousse. I'm going to put them in the fridge. but they can chill. They can just chill out in the fridge. They can chill out in the fridge and I'll be back when they're done. Alright, it's been a couple of hours since I put it in the fridge and it's time to try it. Let's have a taste. But first, let's shoot a video. Here it is. Mr. Mars's chocolate mousse. So chocolaty. Let's have a taste. Look at that. It's very firm. Chocolate. So much chocolate. If you like chocolate, and who doesn't, you'll love this. It's so chocolatey. It's really chocolatey. Really, really chocolatey. So much chocolate. And it's sweet. But not too sweet. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It's not sickeningly sweet, but nicely sweet and beautifully chocolatey. And you know, it's got the soft yielding consistency of mousse. Well, it's soft and yielding, but not. Like, it won't fall out of the glass. It'll very slowly move if you turn it upside down. Great. Now I've just whipped some cream. This is the modern hand beater, right? Compare the modern one. This is the 70-year-old one. Look at how well that runs. It's 70 years old. Brilliantly made, this. Garbage. In comparison, it's garbage. Look at the difference in the beaters. I mean, they get much more air coming through this one. This is small and pissy, you know. The wider ones are going to have a greater velocity because it's a wider circumference. They're going to have a greater velocity, and it's all down the bottom. You know, the bulbous ends are all down the bottom. This one, they're down the bottom, but it's not so dramatic. You know, it's weak. It's weak. And this one, when you're doing it, every now and then it'll bind up. It'll bind up, and you have to go backwards and then come forwards again to make it work. I mean, yes, it worked. I was able to beat some cream with it, but compared to this, it's garbage, you know? This is, I don't know, this is 20 years old, this is 70 years old. Look at the difference. Just, I mean, it's not just that this is better made, it's better designed. It's much better designed. Like the use of the ball bearings on the outside of the wheel, and this has got tooth on the outside of the wheel. But if you think about it from the point of view of an engineer, you're much better with the ball bearing, with the balls on the outside, rather than the teeth. It's just better. And anyone who's got a natural talent for being an engineer would understand that intuitively. This is the way to do it, not this. Anyone would know. But this is the work of somebody who doesn't have any engineering talent. None, right? I mean, look, it doesn't even spin. The bearings are crap. I mean, it's a fairly simple thing to make, an egg beater, you know. But a really good one has a lot of really good design decisions in it. And this one does, this one doesn't. And, you know, this one's made of steel. This one's a mixture of steel and aluminium. Oh, I suppose maybe is it all steel? I mean, God, and you look at it, and this central wheel doesn't even run straight. Doesn't even run straight. I mean, that's the crap we have these days. People make shit. Companies make shit. It's all garbage compared to what we used to make when we knew what we were doing, when we valued quality. We don't value quality anymore. Quality is unnecessary. In fact, companies actively discourage it because they want the stuff to break. They want their stuff to break. You know, come on world, wake up sheeple, put a stop to it. Don't allow it. Don't put up with it. We the consumers don't want our stuff to break. Companies might want it, but we don't want it. It's up to us to stop companies making garbage. Everything is crap compared to what it used to be. Cars. Don't give me a lecture on how good cars are. No, they're not. They're a pain in the ass. They appear to be reliable, but are they? I don't think so. And all the stupid, unnecessary bells and whistles they put on cars now that are totally unnecessary. Really unnecessary. I mean, I've driven a couple of modern cars recently, and oh, I hate them. You stare at the dashboard, and what the hell is going on with all these bells and whistles? No, I don't like it. Take me back to the old days where, you know, you had a simple switch to turn the lights on, and a simple key to turn the car on, and when you turned the key off, the car went off. And all these simple things, like the way it used to be. Simple. And it worked. You know, it worked. They don't want that now. They don't want that. Anyway, that's a rant for another time, I guess. Maybe I'll just keep harping on it every now and then, you know. People make shit today. People aren't better today. People are worse. People are dumber today. They're not dumber in an intellectual sense. Like people today, the young people today are smart, but they don't have the right mental attitude. You know, that's why today's engineers are no good, because they don't have the intuitive understanding. They haven't done their work at the coalface. You know, all engineers should spend some practical time being mechanics, practically fiddling with things to know what works and what doesn't, you know, because an idea that looks good on paper isn't necessarily going to work very well in practice. And a lot of the time they work badly in practice. And this is what's wrong. People need to get their hands dirty. They need to get into it and actually do it. Because in the old days, that's what people did. Like my father was a mechanical engineer, you know, and he went to uni and he got a degree in engineering, and then he got a PhD in engineering, you know, and he was a really good engineer. But when he started, he had to do an apprenticeship. Part of the degree course that he was in was 50% practical work on the shop floor. You know, he worked in a foundry and in a what do they call it? The plan shop. I can't remember where they make models. The model shop where they make models of stuff before they actually forge it. You know, he did practical work on the machine floor. You know, and he worked with lathes and he worked with all kinds of tools, right? Practical, mechanical engineering. And this is what is missing today. Everyone should be doing that, you know. If you're doing electrical engineering, you should be out there working on power lines or designing circuits yourself, you know. We're doing practical work, so you know what circuits are reliable and what circuits aren't. You know what's going to go wrong and what isn't. But the people who don't do that, they go straight from school into designing shit, and of course it's unreliable because they don't understand what is reliable and what isn't. What's a pain in the ass and what isn't. What's the good way to do it and what's the bad way to do it. People don't know. So that's what's wrong with, one of the things that are wrong with the young people today. Young people aren't stupid. They're not. They're smart, but they just need to, young people today, you need practical experience. You need to mix your brain, your intellectual idea, you need to mix that with practical work and the real thing. Everyday practical work. That's what you need. Alright, now so I've whipped some cream. I put some cream on top. So is it better to have cream on top of chocolate mousse? Let's find out. First of all, if you don't put a lot of cream on it, you won't notice the difference. You won't notice the difference because there's already some cream in the mousse, and the mousse is so strong in flavour that a little bit of cream doesn't make much difference. We'll try a bit more cream. Doesn't make much difference. So there's not much point putting cream on. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can put it on if you want. It won't make it taste any different. I suppose it'll make it go further. It'll make you even fatter than you already are. The cream dilutes the flavour a little bit. The flavour is so strong with the amount of chocolate I put in. The flavour is so strong that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't, a bit of cream diluting the flavour, it doesn't dilute it much. Put it on if you want. It's not necessary. Definitely is not necessary. Well, my God, you eat one of these dessert glasses full of chocolate mousse and you know you've eaten something. I mean, I put 170 grams of chocolate in, so a quarter of that's 45 grams, so you're eating 45 grams of chocolate in one glass. It's quite a bit. But I like it like that. These people who say, I couldn't believe it, the first time I made this for people, they said, oh, it's too chocolatey. I said, what? Too chocolatey? How can anything be too chocolatey, Chocolate's what you want. 100% chocolate is fine, So I don't resolve from my position. I think this is the right amount to put in. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Yeah. Fantastic. If anyone reckons they can make a better mousse than me, better mousse than this, I'd like to see it, because that's really good.